Watch this video, then we'll talk.
Something I wish I could announce on a billboard is that if you are a young woman and you think that you're just mature for your age and that's why you like older men, I need you to understand that you're mature for your age because you experienced trauma. And they're preying on that.
I'd like to amend that. You are not mature for your age. You are just traumatized. And they like that you are traumatized. There were developmental stages that you had to skip for the sake of your survival, which means that there are elements of the growing up process that you did not have the safety or general ability to do. And so there are certain parts of you that you are not able to access because in those developmental stages, there's supposed to be space to explore and make mistakes and explore childhood, young adulthood, your prepubescence, pubescence, all of those floods of hormones going through your body at these different stages in time you might not have been able to experience those things, those big life changes in a safe way, in a way that a kid should. And so you had to grow up, which is really just like taking the reality of what you're experiencing and putting it on a shelf somewhere, saying, oh, I'll deal with that later because there is an immediate need that needs to be done. I can't be a kid right now. I can't be in the moment right now because there is a big life thing that is happening, because a parent is dying, because I am ill, because I was assaulted, because insert whatever it is here. I can't be a kid right now. So I'm going to go into survival mode. And then when you go into survival mode and you make it out the other side, then it's like, oh, okay. The idea is, okay, then I could be a kid. I could be a kid now. You have experienced so much at this point that has you've experienced a thing that has traumatized you out of the present moment. It'll be like, oh, I'll just go back 12 years ago. I'll just go back 6 months ago. I'll just go back and I'll be fine. You can't go back. Time has already moved forward, sweetie. And that sweetie is not condescending. That is me, big cousin, talking to the little cousins out there. You literally cannot go back in time. So now, here you are. Insert how much time later, and you are not in the mindset of a kid or of the age necessarily that you are. Not to say that you are immature. And this is coming from somebody who is who has been traumatized in multiple levels throughout my life, right? So been there, done that, been called mature for my age for the vast majority of my life, from strangers, from people that I knew, from people that I was acquaintances, right? And I I didn't really date until I didn't start dating until I was in my mid 20s. And I did try to date men around my age. And then I did start dating a little bit older, nothing too crazy. I think the oldest that I dated was like 9 years older than me, 9, 10 years. And he was fun. He was great. But also because I started dating later, there was just a lot of BS that I just wouldn't put up with because I'm like, I'm grown. Also, I started dating when my frontal lobe was fully developed. So that also helps. But I'm mature for my age, and then especially when a man says that to you, it's one thing for, like, I have actually met some young people that are legitimately mature for their age. It's a lot less of them than I think is the common thought experience, whatever. I just work with a lot of young people, right? So, and when I say every now and then, I think I've only said it to about 3 or 4 young people that are like high schoolers and younger that I have mentored, right? There was a thought to this. There it is. Especially when a man is saying that you are mature for your age, that is a threat. I take that very specifically as a threat. I have had, let me be more specific. If somebody is saying that to you in a way in which they are trying to approach you romantically, I take that as a threat. This also, grooming also falls into this, but that is a much more nuanced conversation. But a lot of the people, let me be more specific. A lot of the young women that are attracted to men or young men, that feel as though they are mature for their age and then have these older predators tell them, oh, yes, you are mature for your age. And so you should be with an old man like me or somebody that is 15, 20, 25, etc. years your senior, because we are basically at complementary maturity levels. Damn it, I keep losing my thought. There it is. Oh my God. Those men see the trauma, see you trying to escape a certain era of your life, certain community members, certain family members, certain whatevers, and they are able to kind of slither their way in and saying, oh, yes, I see you in a way that nobody else can even think to understand. And so we should be together because, yes, you are mature enough for an old soul like me. And by an old soul, it's also an old body because you're ancient. And because these young women have skipped developmental milestones, it's going to be harder for them to realize that these old people that are preying on them and trying to make a nest in their trauma, trying to make a nest for themselves within their trauma. Oh my God, I'm so tired. I need to finish this thought before I go to bed. The young people, there it is, the young people project their lack of community that sees them. Because, yes, they might have family and friends and all that, but they feel ununderstood, not misunderstood necessarily, but there's a lack of understanding that they feel they can express because probably their trauma. And so they see somebody that says, "Oh, I see that thing in you because it's in me too. You're just mature." And I, as a mature person, we should be together because your maturity level and I'm just so impressed by your. It is an evoking, and then the young person takes that feeling that they have, superimposes it onto this predator, and it's like, oh, they don't have anybody that understands them, just like I don't. Oh, they must not have a community that gets it, just like I don't. Oh, it is hard for me to relate to the young boys that are around my age because they're probably not traumatized in the way that you are. But it's hard for me to relate and just kind of like be this happy-go-lucky kid because you miss developmental milestones. But you know what? This man, this AARP man gets me. Wow, you know what? Maybe I am even more mature than I thought I was. And they're completely missing the fact that the women in his age group are fully functional people, are interesting, are beautiful, are accomplished, and they don't want him. And they don't want him for a reason because he's obviously creepy. And this is lightly tangential, but also like within the same vein, because I think that one side of this coin is, oh, you're so mature for your age and you don't know any better. But then there's another side where it's like, oh, you're mature for your, I'm using air quotes under all of the mature for your age. Oh, you're mature for your age and you know better, which basically means, oh, you are a young woman who gets with older men, but not under the illusion of there's actually something you guys have in common. What on earth? All right, Shayna, we're just going to tuck that in there. But it's more of the sprinkle mindset. In which case, the man is getting what he wants out of the relationship, which is probably your body, not probably, which is your body and your time, but also your body. And then the woman is getting what she thinks she wants out of it, which like she wants, not she thinks she wants, what she wants out of the relationship, which is money. But here's the thing, when you are dealing with, once again, young women, I'm talking 18, 19, 20, 21, there are still developmental milestones that are being bypassed. And to get with these old men, exchange your body for money at this point in your life specifically is just, in my opinion, personally, another kind of trauma, or a reaction to another kind of trauma, which could be financial trauma, not having the money that you needed when you grew up, when you were growing up, or when you were smaller, and now you're like, I never want to be in that situation again. It could also be a bunch of other things. Now, do the men like it when you are wiser, more experienced, I don't know what the right term is, in order to say, okay, well, I'm going to need to pay me what I'm worth? They don't like that. They get angry about it, and then they pull a Shannon Sharp, which always backfires, as we see now. I don't really know how I want to end this video, but I feel my eyes closing as I'm speaking. So I would love to hear your thoughts. Write them in the comment section. I will read them when I am conscious. Stay safe out there.